Hey everyone, welcome to Watch Complications. What you're about to see is a section of the conclusion video out of 3 in my Monty Python watch mod series. It's 3 videos that shows me modifying a watch licensed under Monty Python, the Silly Walks watch. And what I've done is I've remade the dial to fit a different case and a particular mechanical movement instead of the quartz movement that came in. Anyway, this video is showing how to properly and easily attach dial feet. Whether you are working on a dial that has no feet, you're changing the dial from one movement to another, or maybe you have a broken dial foot, how do you properly replace dial feet? There are a few methods out there. You can use dial stickers, not recommended. You can do soldering, but when you're working with a dial that's already done, heat is just never the best route to go. I don't like soldering. It's messy, it's more difficult. The best way to do it is with an epoxy and pre-made dial feet. You can trim them to the right length. They come in sets where they're different diameters. It's just the best route to go. It can be done on metal, different types of metal, brass, aluminum. Here I've cut out locations in some PLA plastic material that was necessary for creating a spacer on the back of this dial because of the movement I'm using in the project. So there are a lot of options if you go this route. What I'm about to show you is one of the easiest but also one of the best methods for recreating dial feet, whether it's a custom watch you're making or a watch mod project. Hope you get something out of it. Let's do it. Well, I thought I was recording the video for the first hole, but you can see I've already cut the first hole. I had the spots marked, just center the milling tool on it, and then just twist a few times to turn out the circle for the dial feet. Pressed it down into the correct spot, and now we'll start giving it a twist. Just hold it nice and steady. Pull some of the excess stuff out. Take a look. We go down just a hair further. This side. So there we have our 2 dial feet locations. Now I just want to make sure that the dial feet recesses are cut deep enough, so I'm just going to measure real quick. Okay. Zoom in there and they look pretty good. So I think we're set to go. So I've got the dial ready here, dial feet, and I've whipped up some quick epoxy. Obviously, I'm not going to use this much, but you want enough that you can mix it well. So I'm going to get just a fraction of this dial here. And I'm just going to set a little bit down at center. Set the dial foot down. So I'm going to pop in a little closer here for you. Take the tweezers and just kind of press down. Make sure it is against the base. One thing you might see is a suggestion to scratch up the bottom of these, which can help, gives the epoxy a rough surface to try to adhere to, so you could do that as well. Again, just dropping some epoxy into the center. If something gets out of center, just scrape it off carefully. Again, pop back in here where you can see it. And we will set this bad boy down, and we just carefully press this into place. There's another tool you can use. It's the MSA 22577, which is an end mill. So it will remove burrs and things around the sides of the dial foot. You could use that if this was an issue sitting against the movement in an odd way because of either solder or, in this case, epoxy sitting out. But it scrapes up easy at this stage. It's just started to set, and you can clean most of it up. Well, we have our dial feet on the movement. They're nice and even. Now we'll give this some cure time, and then we can go about attaching it to the movement. I hope you found this tip/teaser video interesting and helpful. This is really the best way for custom watches and modding to attach dial feet, fixed dial feet, using epoxy with a mill to get the locations correct. Use the right diameter on the dial feet, trim them if necessary. Different movements require different heights, but these are long enough for most, and you just trim them down if they're shorter. Now, in the 3rd and final installment of my Monty Python Silly Walks watch mod project, you will see this dial used with a Miyota 6T33. This is the process that I recommend if you're going to do this kind of custom watch and modding. I'm Brian, out.